Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I was just looking out my window here. This is right where my little studio is. And I just wanted to share it with you because when I'm busy doing this is what I get to look at. And I'm sorry for all the wiggling, but when you are wanting to experience more abundance in your life, it's important to recognize the abundance that's around you. Wouldn't you agree? And so I open my window today to share with you what is my abundance. And then we're going to jump into the readings. So let's all take a breath. So, what do we see? An abundance of little rosebuds. And when you look at the rosebuds, there's more petals than there are stems. There's more leaves than there are stems. As I look at the little vine, that's the cucumber vine there are certainly more leaves and blossoms than there are cucumbers. And there's an abundance of the little yellow blooms that are potentially cucumbers. But the thing is about cucumbers is that not every blossom turns into a cucumber. Sometimes they just die off. And so, being that my mind is a little unusual, I wonder to myself, when that little yellow blossom does not turn itself into a cucumber, is it sad? Because plants don't have emotions like we all have, right? But the point is, it's unmet potential, and that not every blossom is supposed to complete into a fruit. And guys, I am so aware of that today because if you have something that you've been working on, or maybe you have a job that you have, but sometimes we reach what I call a fork in the road moment, right? Where we have to allow something that we thought would bring potential to actually let it go because maybe it was never intended to come to full fruit. And so that's not easy if you're a creator or if you're a manifester, because so many of the manifesting teachers say we can get whatever we want, right? But it can't be because look at that cucumber plant. Do you think that it wants to? I mean, if it had intention and it would want every single one of those blossoms to become a fruit, but that goes against nature, right? So I'm just going to lift this up and peek into the rest of the garden out there, little tiny plants. And I suppose it's true of all of them that not every bud is going to become a full flower. So just a little tour. Now I'm going to try to attach my camera to the thing without hanging up on you guys. See how well I can do. Oh, there, that's not bad. Okay. So, welcome to this reading. Those of you guys who have been here with me before, I'm Catherine. This is Fish Out of Water Tarot, where more than anything, guys, this morning especially, I am feeling emotional before I even start. I wish I could tell you guys how much I appreciate y'all. um, but sometimes people write to me and they're sad, and they're facing really hard things. And more than anything, I wish that I could grant the wishes of y'all. But we have to remember the cucumber plant because that's the lesson of today and it moves me deeply. And I'm grateful, 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 grateful. Think about it. If every acorn in the whole world became an oak tree, how could that be right? It can't be. In my woods where you guys see me walk, there are hickory, tons of hickory trees. It's a hickory woods. And hickory, there's gazillions of nuts that lay on the ground that never become a hickory tree. never had a chance of becoming a hickory tree because their fate was to be food for a squirrel. And I think there's so many lessons in nature, but I'm feeling so tenderhearted this morning for those of you who wish you knew an answer or wish you knew, okay, I have to stop doing this project because it's not answering my deepest needs. And yet, we just fall in love with our projects, don't we? This could be true of a relationship, a friendship, a project, or anything. But today, what I'm wanting to do is to pull cards for fork in the road energy. Okay. Dead end, fork in the road. How many times do you drive down a road and you get all the way to the end of it, and there it says dead end? And you're like, oh, shoot, you got to turn around, walk back. Why did I put this little lizard in here? The lizard is an animal that if its tail gets cut off, it grows another one. So talk about the opposites, right? Here you've got our cucumber plant that not every blossom is destined to become a fruit. And then you have this animal who can lose an important part of itself and regrow it. Regeneration. So welcome to this reading. This is Catherine. It's Fish Out of Water Tarot. And sometimes I wonder if fishes out of water have a harder time with adjustments than other humans, maybe. But here's my beautiful deck. This is the Light Seers deck, and it's my old favorite. And I'm drawing it today because I count on it to bring me the messages that will help. So what we're going to do, let me see, I think I can pull this up a little bit. Oh, yes. Okay. And push this back so we have lots of room for our cards. And I'm going to divide the deck into three. Oh, there we go. And we will draw our cards. Sorry, it took me a while to get started today. I just had these thoughts on my mind and I wanted to share them. Okay, so I'm going to divide my beautiful deck into three relatively equal piles best I can. All right. And how do we pick? Here's the deal. In all of the cards, or excuse me, in our situation, whatever your situation is, that you are only seeing part of the picture. And so in tarot, we like to say, what are you not seeing? Okay, so here you're facing a decision. It's a fork in the road of some type. What are you not seeing? And in order to pick that card, we're choosing the card at the bottom of the deck to be our guide. So, wow, I'm probably going to cry during this reading. Guys, you're just going to have to bear with me. Ah, okay. What you're not seeing is that the whole world is going to change. Okay. Pile two, what you're not seeing is that generosity is in your future. Okay. And what you're not seeing in pile three is that, oh my gosh, this business of being at the fork in the road position, or when you need to make a choice, we can just make ourselves crazy, can't we? Just by ping pong back and forth. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? What should we do? And you've got these crows, which I love this deck because the swords are the suit of your thoughts. Okay, what are you thinking about? What rattles around in your brain? So, if you're the kind of person that has this debate going on all the time where your inner being is not even close to the action because the fearful part of you and the doubtful part are yammering. My mom used to say that word, yammering and yammering at you, right? So you need to make this choice. And what you're not seeing is that it's necessary. Okay. So here we go. We're fork in the road energy. We're going to be off and running here. And the pile one, we have the world card, what you're not seeing. Pile two, Six of Pentacles. Pile three, Two of Swords. Let's jump in. I will put timestamps when I'm finished, and so that you'll be able to go back and review. I always encourage you to have a pencil and paper when you're going to be receiving a reading because you may hear something that's important. And also, I recommend that people, hold on a second here, what am I doing? I recommend that folks make a decision as you're starting the reading that this is your personal reading, because that decision will help you soak in the wisdom that's here. So, what do we have for my friends with being in a fork in the road situation? Fork in the road. What are we not seeing with this decision that's going to be made? All right. And we have for you strength. And oh, this one's calling me. I need to do you guys like those tea leaves? I should do a tea leaf reading. I love those so much. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, pile number one. If you have come to this reading in a place where you need to make a move, that fork in the road, needing to turn one way or the other, and you've been feeling worried about it, concerned, pile one, there is nothing to worry about here. What you're not seeing is that it's important to let something finish. All right. There is something going on right now for you in your in this moment. You're not seeing that indeed it is time to leave something behind. So the good news is that you are being supported. Your inner being, the part of you that's connected to the divine, is behind you 100%. Remember, as Abraham Hicks teaches so often, like every single video, that we have a non physical part of us that we cannot see. Unfortunately, we cannot call it on the phone because our inner being guides with such gentle nudges and removing the cringing and allowing us to advance forward. But anytime you're worried, it's because you're looking at it from too small of a vantage point. Your inner being loves you so much. Dr. Joe Dispenza has these wonderful videos that are meditations, and I always love how he says that. You have a part within you that loves you so much, a part that is so strong. See, it's just partially there when we pay attention, and a part that is so gentle. Your inner being is not a bully. And in order for you to progress to mastery of your passion, there's something in your upcoming maybe 6 months or so that is when you look back, you'll say, oh, I get it. But being able to close the loop and trust that it will be okay to move on. Because pile one, what you're looking at here is a tremendous opportunity. So if the thing you've been working on, if it has become at all boring, or you just are forcing yourself to do it because your heart is not in it, it may feel like a risk to close it off, but you're being guided to something that is even more fulfilling. Notice the lion and the lion. So if you forget that you have the power of God backing you up, you're going to have a bigger struggle because you are a divine being having a human experience. If you forget that this divine guidance is with you at all moments, it will slow you down. Okay? So if anything, let's come up with a affirmation for you. Let me sip. Thank you. Okay, even though I don't know what's ahead, I do acknowledge my inner being's love for me. Even though I don't know which way to turn, I trust I will know as I walk forward. Begin to make a plan for transitioning out of this situation and walk toward that. Okay, pile one. Forks in the road are not here to torture us. Forks in the road are here to grant our wishes What have you been waiting for? What do you want to see manifest, right? Sometimes we can get stuck on the idea of manifesting more than the process of it. And we do need to work it. Okay. So, pile two, welcome to your reading. And oops, sorry. Look at that. Oh, that's so cool. I put the deck upside down. So what you're not seeing even with this deck, I feel like that's such a crazy mistake that I made. I've never done that before. So I'm taking this card because I feel like it needs to be used. Thank you, Knight of Wands. What a delicious card. Okay, that's like capital happy error, happy mistake. All right, and let's pick one more card for you. Pile two. Pile two, you have a forceful personality, don't you? You like to get your way. People might think you're a little pushy, but good for you. Good for you, pile two, because you know what? You are filled with excitement. You have passion, you have desire, and you know what, pile two? I sense that this fork in the road is not nearly as intimidating as you might think. Your desire to share what it is that you know how to do is is okay, hang on. Have you ever heard that phrase pent up energy, like when energy is it's like a pressure cooker, right? Where it's sealed and all of the juices and all of the ingredients are just steeping and stewing in that crock pot. And they're just gathering all this pressure on the food, and the food somehow becomes more tender. I don't know how that works, but that's what I pick up here. That this energy has been circulating in you. Your idea that you have right now, it has way too much juice for you to quit. There, you just can't. It makes zero sense. So what's going on here? I feel like you're maybe being a little bit of a downturn, a little bit of a setback, and maybe the financial end has not been what you're wanting. Oh, maybe you feel like the universe has been breadcrumbing you. Okay, let's all take a breath, please. Yeah. What if you have a secret doubt that you're not aware of that you really have divine guidance? What if in your being there's this little bailout energy that's saying, I'm just not so sure? Because if I had an inner being, why would I be going through this? Why is it so difficult for me? Okay. So, what I'm seeing here is that this pent up energy that in within your being is something that is vibrating with more energy than you know. So part of it might be that you're kind of afraid to unleash yourself, to really go at it and say, "That's it. I burn the boats." Do you know about that burn the boats energy? Where apparently way back in time, if a conqueror went to conquer a new land and they would land there, and then they would say, "Burn the boats." Why? There's no escape, right? You're at your destination. There are no escape routes, and you're gathering your intuition, the smartest part of you that's strategizing, and you're going to make it work. That's what I'm seeing here. And I feel like pile two, that you have been feeling a little um, under supported financially. You have felt, why is the money so hard if my passion is so strong? Is the universe breadcrumbing me, just giving me a tiny bit just to keep me in the game, but not wanting to help me? And I'm going to tell you right now, that is false thinking. Okay. A lot of times in the ebb and flow of the financial part of what you're doing, that's just part of it. I watch Shark Tank a lot, and one of the things I think it was Mark Cuban said, if you haven't eaten peanut butter and crackers for a month while you're building your idea, don't complain to me. Because your resources might shrink while you're birthing something, but the universe will give you just enough. It's not like breadcrumbing, it's just providing just enough for you right now to develop something, okay? Now, if you have a question about this, I do want to mention to you all, you're welcome to email me, and I'm more than happy to create a reading for you based on one of your questions, and I can do that in these readings, these morning readings, because I'm always looking for themes. Today's theme about the fork in the road, it just came from some people that were chatting with me last night on my live and not knowing what to do next. How do you pick best for yourself? So, pile two, what I would do if I were you is I would write a letter write a letter to your inner being, and you could do it in the description box. There's a couple of tools. One of them is called the magical money machine, and it might be a good place for you to communicate to your higher self what it is you're wanting. Do you want more direction? Do you want to birth this project? Go to your journal or to one of the tools in the description box and create a conversation back and forth with yourself. If you bring out some of your fears and doubts, write on paper, be honest, and then sit and rest and allow yourself to be at peace with that. Because anytime you're building something, it takes time, and some parts of the idea may need to be pruned to make it successful. But at pile two, this fork of the road means take the take the path toward your project because it is not ripe enough to pick and it's still being developed. And the people that you meet during the process will be important to whatever develops. Okay, so let's move on to pile three. And pile three, you are a person after my own heart. There's a certain degree of perfectionism that comes along, and absolutely, um, how can I say this? Well, it pops the balloon of joy when you're fearful of making a mistake, and that in this fork in the road, that you kind of are making a bigger deal of it than it is. A fork in the road is simply a choice of a different direction. It's not truly the end. And if you say goodbye to a certain project or a certain relationship or a certain something, everything will keep on going. Life will spin off in this direction or that direction. But pile three, you're making a little bit too much of a big deal about it. No offense. I mean, and I'm only talking to myself because I have perfectionistic tendencies and I try to come to peace with that. And though that's like in pile two, when that error happened and I flipped the wrong side of the deck, there was a time that would paralyze me and it would keep me off of making videos because I would be frightened of making a mistake. So, pile three, what wisdom do we have for you with needing to face your fork in the road, whatever it is? Okay, so I love the pages. Pages are like one of my favorites cards. In fact, the Page of Swords came out in my daily reading today. So I put out those little inspirational itty bitties, and the Page of Swords in a different deck came out. So you might want to check that out. And oh, wow, 2 pages. Okay, this is a good reading. So what's happening, pile three, is yes, you're at this fork of the road and it doesn't feel comfortable because you're like, okay, I've done all this work and I feel like I'm pulling my hair out. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling and I'm using every creative idea I have and I'm doing everything I can. Why aren't my results where they should be? What does this mean? Should I quit? Should I adjust? What is it? So, the first thing is that it is true that in the Two of Swords energy, the two, I'm going to use this word enemies because they are parts of our own self that can hold us back, and that's doubt and fear. Okay, so when you're feeling insecure, you know what that feels like, kind of cringy. Usually there's a voice of doubt and there's a voice of fear just chattering away at you. And the beautiful thing is, like, if you can see behind her, Look at the road. See that? And can you guys see all those little dots? That's all the guidance of spirit. Those little breadcrumbs that she has been following all along have been faithful. She's getting there for sure. Also, I'm noticing that this road, there's these breadcrumbs, they're all around her. So, what that shows me is the universe is dropping hints and helping you with this decision. Let's take a peek at these pages. First of all, pages are messengers. So chances are, as you're listening to this reading and you're getting hopefully a bit of inspiration, these messages of today are supporting you. But guess what? There's other news about the pages. They're fresh starts. They remind me of the aces of every suit because the energy is about advancing, expanding, and it's got that fresh start energy on it. So, this might mean that you need to kind of retool or fine tune what it is that you're doing. It could be that you need to just put it down for a couple of days and let it rest, but there's some learning to do. And the learning is around the pentacles, which is not only money, but it's your relationships. It's the material life that you're walking around on the planet. Also, she is in the same form as the hanged man takes, which is that pause. So there's something that you just need to, how would I say it, educate yourself on the financial angle about what you're doing. Is there some leverage? Can you collaborate with someone? Do you have someone who's really smart in your life that you can brainstorm with? The idea of learning a new approach primarily in how you conduct your thoughts. The Two of Swords is showing an kind of an immaturity or ill-equipped, uninformed. What are you afraid of, actually? And doing a little bit of investigation. But what the universe is saying to you, look at the advance from the two all the way to the page. See that book? That's like your book of life. All of the things you've experienced are congealing for you to feel more comfortable. Also, notice that our two crows have transitioned to these two soft, small, comforting birds. So, this fork in the road is more than you think it is. It looks like you are putting way too much worry energy into this. It looks like the divine is directing you clearly to this fresh start around your thoughts and what's going on with your relationship to your project and the financial connection. So, in the description box, there's something that's called the worry cure. It works. I use it myself. And if I have a bad day and I forget to use it, I want to just slap myself and say, girl, this will help you. So please go to the description box if you can resonate with this. And actually, I would make a conversation. Now, you don't need my material. You can do this in a journal, but I would get out a piece of paper and write to doubt. Dear doubt, what do you want from me? Why are you here, doubt? And then switch hands. This is so magical. I love it. Switch to your non dominant hand and let your non dominant hand speak for doubt. I'm going to do this right after I hang up. Um, Murphy, because if you create a conversation with doubt and with fear, with your non dominant hand speaking for doubt and fear, I sincerely believe you're going to get some insight that I can't give you. All right. So, pile three, I wish there was like a more clear answer, like yes, quit, or no, don't. But the fact is, if you don't deal with the doubt and fear, when you go to your next stage, they're still there. Okay. Got it. So, pile three, you are so dearly loved. Your inner being is so calm at all times. And I know that's kind of hard to imagine. Like when you're all nervous and feeling a little insecure, how could your inner being be comfortable? What's with that? But it's true because our divine selves is not worried. I can't ever imagine God up there going like this. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, right? It just doesn't happen. And you've got that God spark right inside. So please walk away from this reading feeling loved. Make sure that you have that conversation with doubt and fear and do it as quickly as possible because guess what? You're going to get more guidance from your non dominant hand than you ever imagine. So, there you have it. I'm just going to unattach this so that I can show you guys again who those guys who are here now and that weren't here in the beginning of this reading. That when I was looking at out my window, I'm so blessed to live in a place that has this gorgeous view and remember in the beginning of the reading, I talked about the cucumber plant. And my cucumber plant is got tons and tons of blossoms on it. And the message was not every blossom on that cucumber plant is going to become a cucumber. It That's nature. And so my awareness as I started the reading was how do we know which of our little blossoms is going to become fruit? And that not every single thing we try to create is going to become fruit. It's not natural. But your inner guidance is going to continue to guide you so that you experience more abundance in your life. Whatever it is you're going through, know that you are abundantly loved. And when you come to fish out of water, I'm just going to pull cards to inspire you to keep going and not to be put off by ending something or letting a project simply go to the closet for a while and shift gears and work on something else. Pam Grout, my favorite author, um, E Squared, wonderful book. Think and Grow Rich, another. But she teaches that if it's not fun, it's not sustainable. So take a look at that. If you're forcing yourself to go through the motions, it will never be sustainable. So, on that, thank you for coming. Thank you for enjoying my view. Thank you for being part of what I'm doing here. Go forth and prosper. Be good to someone today, but most of all, be good to yourself. We'll see you later on today. I'll be back live later on tonight. I hope you can join me. Have a beautiful day, my friends.